Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungum. I have my co-host Luke Timmons here with me today. We are on episode 4 of Chasing the Rut, and we are in peak rut, full engaged. It is go time. Gun season opens this Saturday. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's as we keep saying, it's here. Gonna get out probably tomorrow morning, hopefully, and see if I can't schlock one with a bow before the craziness of, and like
2 days.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the weather looks pretty solid so far. I mean, I actually haven't looked at it in a couple of days, but kind of slack.
It's supposed to rain. Looks like southeastern Minnesota wise.
Saturday night looks like rain. So, which, I mean, that's all right. Might make Sunday good. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it looks like high 30s in the morning on Saturday, and it's going to be sweet.
It's going to be good. Yeah. And in this episode, we just decided to keep it to ourselves. We just wanted to update you guys what we've been seeing out in the woods and kind of what's going on. And, we figured this would be a fun one to kick off for gun season coming up here this weekend and just kind of dive through some of the strategies we're going to implement out on the farm and go with that. But I would say I've been out a couple times now here in the last week, and I will say things are wild. From back home, the moment that I left last weekend, it was fairly dead, I would say. And I just a testament that to, and I shouldn't say dead. We saw deer, no big deer, no does either, really. I mean, we saw fawns and stuff. So I'm assuming that a lot of the bigger bucks were on lockdown with some does, or, it was hot too. So it's hard to say, but, of course, after the day we left, it was like, I think Monday through Tuesday, all of a sudden it was like someone flipped a switch and, from about 5 o'clock all the way through about 2 a.m, we had our number 1, our number 2 chasing does. We had new bucks we haven't seen chasing does. And it was just like the whole woods erupted. And even so today, like, I think it was yesterday, last night I was out pulling cameras before sundown, just trying to get some intel what's been going on up north here. And this morning, come to find out that we've had 2 giants running around in our neighborhood here in Baxter, Brainerd, that just absolute mega. I mean, I'm kidding. Like the one probably is a solid 150 plus inch 12-pointer all day and can't hunt them. Just devastating. But just dog and does all around the neighborhood and going in and out of backyards. And it was fun to see, but it was just, can't do anything about it. So
what do you do? God, man, like you said, gotta go bite the bullet on that one and just kind of accept that. Yeah, that there's a reason that deer is that big, and he knows probably where he can. Shouldn't go.
Can hunt him. He's just got to show up in a couple different spots, a couple blocks away, which is completely realistic considering.
Oh, sure.
How far the deer, how far deer in general just travel, but even like what we've seen from back home on the farm, how far deer will travel. But
yeah, no, it is interesting to see because I know like one of our top target buck this year is shown up at a couple properties in the general area, I guess, and a couple are a few miles away. So
we talked about that last year we just talked about this last weekend with Eric in the truck. We were driving, like we had a deer named Stubbs that was this really cool, gnarly 3.5-year-old that just like he had the probably score wise like probably 115 inches, but he had mass for days. He was like tines growing into each other, just like super cool looking deer. I would have loved to seen him at like maybe 5.5 to see what he could have been.
Sure.
We had Zach shot a really cool one about 7 years ago called Skyscraper that was spitting image of that, but a lot bigger. So, but this deer though, I mean, it was the day before gun, I think that Friday afternoon, and deer were already running around crazy and whatnot. And we saw him, I want to say it was almost 3 miles away from home, just dog and does. And it's like, dude, crazy. What are you doing? You're going to die. Like, get back to the farm.
Head on home now.
And he died shortly a week later. So, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean we hunted pretty good last weekend, and it was a little bit of movement. And then I think what was it, Saturday night, there was some pretty good,
Yep.
movement as far as, we were kind of hunting that same area, and
Couple hot
you know,
does.
couple hot does, couple small bucks chasing. I mean, I had a little basket 8-pointer, like a foot from the base of my tree, just mouth
Chilling.
open, ripping up. Well, you saw him, I think,
Yep.
come through the woods, rip up a scrape. And so, I mean, yeah, scrapes are still fire. Fine doe bedding, get downwind of it, and downwind of, where that buck is probably where you think he's going to travel. To scent check those beds, because, we're moving into, and I wouldn't say moving in, we're there. If you
Yeah.
got time, you got PTO, get in the woods. That's it.
Yeah. And going off of that, I mean, I look at it like, if you only have a short amount of time still to get in the
Mm-hmm.
woods, but this is also a time too where it gets grindy. But if you can do it, I've done it before and had success with it. Just grind it out. Sit as long as you can. If you got to sit until 11 and take a 20-minute break and go swap stands if the wind's changing, whatever that is, and get back in the stand for the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
day, like this is the time, especially now. Like this is very interesting for us being into the second weekend of November now, with gun season opening up on Saturday,
Yeah.
compared to, I always felt like we'd go into that first weekend of November, like on the 5th or 4th, and we'd be at like lockdown, and people
Mm.
would be like, oh, the rut's not happening, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like now we're getting past that phase of where we're seeing those bigger bucks trying to get on those second and third does now, where they're truly just mouth on the ground running,
Oh, yeah.
ready to
Yep.
fight. So I think gun season is going to be, I think this might be a really good year for deer to get schlocked.
Well, I know you like your east winds, and it's going to be somewhat of a east southeast wind on Saturday morning. So
Yeah, just how our farm lays out. The east wind always plays. Just it seems those deer really love, especially those bigger bucks. They love to have wind kind of crossing their back and their face as they go through the farm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, it's good luck to everybody that's going to be out there participating. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be short lived for me and Eric, but it'll be fun though.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are when are you leaving Sunday evening?
TBD. Don't know yet.
Yeah.
We were originally
Sometime
going to
on
leave
Sunday.
Saturday night. But we changed that just because it looks like the weather looks good. And we actually ran into a conundrum because we don't have freezer space at home. So I told Eric he has to go buy a freezer.
Yeah.
So he's going to go pick up a freezer hopefully today. So we'll have some room, because I was going through my head. I was like, well, if we shoot 3 deer and then we leave for South Dakota, I'm like, where are we going to put the deer? Because we process all of our own meat. So it save a lot of money doing it that way. But yeah, it'll be Saturday night's going to be fun. We'll have the podcast rolling similar to what we did for Bow Opener for Bow Fest.
Yep.
And then, we'll have a good crew of guys out and have a campfire going and get a couple people in to talk about maybe some of their traditions that they do. And it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I mean, any bold predictions for you?
Get in the tree.
In the tree.
I feel like right now it's so, because like the bucks that I would actually, because obviously there are 2 that we would for sure take a shot at if it presented it, but of those 2, they're close. They're just, I want to dig in a little bit, maybe if I get some time this evening, and just really dig into like when they've shown up on camera. Look at the wind, look at the, everything else. Cause they're, like Babe, daylighted once so far, but they're right, kind of right at that.
Crazy. It's only been once, considering it was about 15 or 20 last year, but
exactly.
I think
so. That's where it's like, I'm cautious. I'm cautious. I'd say I'm like neutral right now as far as what this weekend could be. It could be absolutely fire, where like you said, like they're just, those old mature bucks are just running. But, there's a couple more people in the woods this year, just in neighboring properties. So
I think someone kills in our section this year. I think someone kills one of the bigger ones with the opening day for sure.
Sure.
I think Hightower is going to get whacked opening day. I think Babe makes it to late season. I just think
sweet.
he's enough of a roamer.
Well, look what happened to Stubbs.
Well, but I think to an extent, though, I think there's enough lack of pressure of wherever he goes to, and I think Hightower is such a homebody now that he's like 7.5 now. So I think he's such a homebody that I think if he sticks to that play, I think he's dead. But
yeah. So if you had first pick on the farm, which stand are you sitting in Saturday morning? Southeast, about 8 to 12.
8 to 12 southeast wind. I'm either going. See, this is where it's a different game, and I always just play this stupid mental game in my head of where it's like, well, I could go with a bow, and it's like, but why? That's why I bought it. That's why I bought a gun tag.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go somewhere tight to doe bedding, probably in like the middle part of the woods. God, it's either that or I'm going to go all the way to the far west side of the farm and probably hunt like the backdoor stand. I think that stand's got a really good chance, or even like the River's Edge stand. No one knows what any of these stands are, so that's completely fine. But yeah, I'm probably just going to be sticking tight to bedding. I mean, it's so hard to say because like God, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard because then it's like you're stuck.
Depends on what cameras show, I guess. But if it stays the way it is right now, where it's just been like it just seems like every day now. Today maybe was a little bit less, but it seems like for the last couple of days now it's just been chaos. If it sticks on a schedule of that, I mean, honestly, it's anybody's guess. And our farm's small enough where once we set up with 4 people on the farm, I mean, we've got the whole thing covered.
The deer know that something's up.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good.
Yeah. So, and then South Dakota for you guys, what have you guys kind of narrowed down where you're kind of thinking? Don't give it away here, but.
Yeah. So I think we don't know. No, I'm just kidding. We're meeting on it tonight to solidify exactly where we're going to go. But I think we are going to go farther West River than we ever have.
Sweet.
I shouldn't say that because I've been all the way to the border. But I think we're going to go. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit farther west than we normally do from Pierre, just to check it out. And I think it'll be helpful for you too, just to get some eyes on some ground that we haven't seen, and just get some new perspective. I always love that. It's a new adventure, seeing new terrain. I mean, I feel like even though I know a lot of these other spots that I have in kind of my Rolodex of spots, I know them well enough, but it still doesn't mean I'm just going to go out and shoot a big buck. But I know spots where to find deer, and I think kind of going the time frame we are going now, I'm guessing, I could be wrong, I don't think we're going to have a lot of pressure for people like we normally did going out for opener and stuff. So it should be good. I'm excited. It'll be fun. I think we're going to work our way from west to east. That's usually the best way to do it. So we'll probably start western South Dakota, West River, work our way back to East River. And if all things fail, we'll probably just start hunting the river for whitetails, but we'll see. So
sure. Yeah, it's I'm ready. I don't want to rush past this next week, deer camp, because I love doing it. But I mean, so you guys leave Sunday sometime, and then I'll be heading out Thursday night. So
it's gonna come quick.
It's gonna be fast and furious.
Are you packed?
What's up?
Are you packed?
No, I mean, I have all my stuff. I just gotta kind of start compiling it together, and I
have food done, and that's it. I have a lot to get done here in the next couple nights here.
Yeah. I gotta make one more probably food run. I don't know, probably Sunday or something, maybe Monday or next Monday or Tuesday or so. But got it all late, planned out as far as food goes, gear. I'll probably head up to the range a couple more times, at least probably once this week and once next week, and then I'll be good to go. So, good. But
Well, I do want to say this too, and this is a PSA. And if you're hearing this now, it's not too late, but it's probably too late because it's something you probably should have done. But just like as the season goes on, shooting your bow and stuff like that, you got to shoot your bow consistently all throughout the fall. Even if you've done thousands of reps from the summer, you should still be shooting your bow. And on top of that, you should be shooting your gun for opener. Doesn't matter if it's a shotgun, a muzzleloader, a rifle. Get out and shoot your gun. Make sure that you're on where you're supposed to be. That's the last thing you want to have happen to you is you get out there and something goes wrong and you're
stuck.
We're prepared for it.
Yep. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is just go out there to wound animals. That's
for sure.
Makes you, I mean, we've all done it. It's, the unfortunate side of sometimes of where, sometimes you make a bad shot and I tell you what, that's probably the sickest feeling you'll get in your gut. And I know for me, it's like something I never want to do again. Cause it's like, you just feel absolutely terrible for it. And, but so yeah, it's here, man. It's go time. And it's a good Wednesday. It is such a good Wednesday. It's a great Wednesday. I'm just tickled pink. It was, it is, we'll leave it at that.
What happened again?
Well, there was an election, so that was part of it. But no, I mean, it was refreshing to see, based, on where everything stands right now. I mean, like big thing for hunters. I don't know if you saw this yet, but big thing for hunters across, the nation, whatever side of the political aisle you fall on, is that Prop 127 out in Colorado failed. So that is
good.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it kind of got beat down pretty hard. So
that's good. For people that don't know what that is, can you just explain a little bit about that? Yeah.
So basically, and I'm not from Colorado, obviously. But so basically what it was is that if it passed, it would have prohibited big cat trophy hunting. So mountain lions, any other lynx, bobcat, that kind of thing. And so a lot of people thought, rightfully so, that it's one of those slippery slope things where it's like you take this, then what's next? It's that old adage of, they're not going to take a foot away from you at a time. They're going to take a half inch, half inch, quarter inch, an inch, and then all of a sudden you just lost everything. So kudos to all hunters in Colorado for standing up and saying absolutely no way.
Well, I think also on top of that too, I mean, you look at what's happened with the wolf populations across the U.S. and here in the Midwest, and I think it's the same thing with cats too. Like if cats don't go somewhat unmanaged, like
like California.
As you say, unfortunately, we've had lots of cat attacks, which has been not good, and they've been getting closer and closer to local communities, and that'd actually be an interesting podcast they have somebody on that talk about hunting cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would. Just start scrolling through the old Instagram and sending some DMs. Yeah. Actually, I wanted to touch base. I was listening to this podcast on one of Joe Rogan's. I'm pulling it up quick right now just so I get her name right. But Diane Boyd, if you haven't listened to that and you're a hunter, I went into it a little bit skeptical just because she's biologist who studies wolves, and I'll say it up front. I went into it like, another person who doesn't want the wolves getting shot, but I was completely 180. I would, one of the best episodes I've listened to on that podcast. She was super intelligent, and she actually was against the relocation of wolves into like Yellowstone, and there was one other one, and I don't want to say the wrong one, so I'll just leave it at that. But because basically the wolves from Canada were already making their way down, and now they've just had an absolute, kind of going backwards in Colorado because they introduced these wolves. All the states in the U.S. that had wolves basically all said, no, we're not going to give you any wolves. The one state that did was Oregon, and the wolves they gave them were already used to, cattle predation. Yeah. So as soon as they've cut them loose in Colorado, they're going to go right back to what they already knew, and that was hunting cattle. So last I heard, those wolves have now been rounded up and are being held at a holding facility because they don't know what to do with them. It's just like, sometimes you don't need to mess with, nature, let it figure itself out. But it's an interesting interesting. But like I said, kudos to all the hunters and people in Colorado for sticking up for your right to hunt and not letting something like that come through. So,
That's
and then
awesome.
the rest of it was pretty good too.
Yeah, the rest of it was pretty good. So,
yeah. But yeah, it's a great day to be an American. It's deer camp almost time, and it's go time, baby. Start your engines.
that's right. Get the train going. Yeah, no, it's an exciting time. I think that, like you just said, not only for the country, and it doesn't matter what political side you fall on, you got to support and pray for whoever does get elected, and just hope
Absolutely.
that they're going to do the best for not only for you, but for the country and for just us as a whole. And definitely excited for what's to come. It is gun opener this weekend. We've talked about this a really long time, I feel like, and we're finally at the peak of the peak, I feel like. And it's sad because it's going to go by quick, but this next 2 weeks is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm so amped for it, man.
I'm already at a point where I'm ready to start seeking vengeance on deer, because I don't know what it is about this year. I have just had no luck whatsoever. Haven't even had I would say even like a close encounter yet. And usually by about this time, I've usually had maybe one or two. But yeah, I don't know. So hopefully this weekend produces. Hopefully South Dakota's good. Weather looks great, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I was just looking at the weather. Just was before we hopped on for South Dakota.
South Dakota looks really good. It's about perfect as what you could want it through. Anywhere from the 50s, the 40s, low 30s at night with like consistent 15, 16 mile an hour wind. Like couldn't ask for anything more for spot and stock.
And
no rain. So
yep. There's a little bit of rain that next Tuesday after I get out there, but you guys will probably be back home by then. So
I hope so. That'd be bad if it was. I would be here.
I have some answering to do.
What the hell happened to me?
Yeah, gotta love it. Sweet, man. Well, I think we'll cut it there. And if you haven't yet, be sure. The giveaway is still wide open. Anyone's game, because all you gotta do is the old like, follow, subscribe. So like the post, follow us, tag two friends on that, and you are entered to win some pretty sweet Wild Faith gear and Havalon Piranha knife. And I tell you what, that knife is one of my favorite knives. Yep.
I have the Barracuda and the Piranha, and honestly, I go back and forth with both depending on like what I'm doing. But the Piranha and like the little mini gut hook that you can get with it is just the slickest thing from just. Yeah. It's I don't know, and it's nice just having sharp blades. Like I always get 2 packs of each for each knife every year, and like I look at it where it's been a little bit quiet this year. Gun season might be a little bit different. We've shot 5 deer in a night before, so just rinse and repeat and just throwing new blades on and just kind of getting the job done rather than having to go through and clean your knife and resharpen your knife and do all that stuff. It's pretty slick, so it's a good system.
Yep. Yeah. I like it.
Well, guys, good luck in the contest, and good luck for gun opener here in Minnesota. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other gun seasons opening up. I think we're the only one this week.
Wisconsin's a little bit later, at least around us anyways. So
good luck to all you fellow Minnesota gun hunters out there. And for the tried and trues that are going to sit and stand with a bow, I might be joining you, but we'll see. So probably not, but maybe.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith and the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.